What's up, Baggies fans, football fans, and sports fans in general, to another iconic Wednesday. And today we're talking about an absolute legend, a trailblazer, an icon, and somebody that I met at the Hawthorns and had a real special moment with, and have a signed ticket to me from this person. And of course, we're talking about Cyril Regis, the man who changed English football forever. Before your Sterlings, before your Sackers, before your Rashfords, there was Cyril Regis, a name that just doesn't echo through the terraces of West Bromwich Albion, but one that stands as a pillar of strength against the ugliness of racism in football. This week on Iconic Wednesday, we're diving into the legacy of a man who wasn't just a striker, he was a pioneer, a barrier breaker, an inspiration to generations that followed. This is the story of Cyril Regis. My name is Harry, as always. Welcome to the channel. Let's aim for 25, no, let's aim for 35 likes on this video. Leave a comment, let me know who you want to feature next. Obviously, I've got Laurie Cunningham and Len Cantanello coming up. So again, any other players you want to see, let me know down below. Subscribe. Let's go for 500 subscribers before my birthday on the 26th of July. It's a big jump, but I reckon you guys can get me there. And let's remind ourselves of what Cyril Regis could do.
Regis taking it well on the chest and a lovely piece of control by Regis. Oh, and what a great shot! Oh, one of the goals of the season. Cyril Regis.
Now, after that fantastic goal you just saw there, which won goal of the season, let's give a bit of a deep dive. Cyril Regis was born in Maripalusa, French Guinea in 1958, but he moved to England with his family at a young age. Raised in London, his path to football stardom wasn't paved with academy contracts or early fame. In fact, Regis was working as an electrician while playing part-time at Long League football for Hayes. That's right, no elite youth setup, no agent, just raw talent and grit. It was while at Hayes that he caught the eye of West Bromwich Albion scouts. He had scored 24 goals in 75 games, but it was clear to those that watching there was something more to him, something that went on beyond goals. It was the power, the pace, the presence. And in 1977, West Brom paid just £5,000 for Cyril Regis, and what followed was a seismic shift in English football. Regis wasn't just a revelation on the pitch, he was part of something greater. Alongside Laurie Cunningham and Brendan Batson, he formed what would later be known as the Three Degrees, three black players lighting up the First Division at a time when racism in football was rampant. Imagine the scene, away grounds filled with monkey chants, bananas thrown on the pitch, jeers every time he touched the ball. But Cyril, he never flinched. He played with grace, with power, and with smile. Every goal, every header, every run, it was a statement. In 1978 to 79, West Brom finished third in the league, with Regis scoring 17 goals. But beyond his stats, it was his bravery and defiance that mattered more. He wasn't just playing against defenders, he was playing against the nation's prejudice. His performance couldn't be ignored, and in 1982, Cyril Regis earned his first England cap. But what should have been a moment of celebration was marred by hate. Before his debut, Regis received a letter in the post, in it a death threat, warning him not to wear the three-line shirts. That's how real the hatred was. But Cyril Regis played. He pulled on that shirt, he walked onto the pitch, because he knew the importance of what he represented. He earned only 5 caps, and many believe racism played a part in limiting his international career. But those appearances meant everything to young black boys growing up in Britain. They saw themselves finally in a national team. Now, obviously, beyond West Brom, in 1984, he made the switch to Coventry City, and in 1987, he reached the pinnacle of English domestic football, lifting the FA Cup after a thrilling 3-2 win over Tottenham Hotspur. That moment cemented his status as more than just a symbol. He was a winner. He also went on to play for Aston Villa and Wolves later in his career, continuing to inspire wherever he went. By the time he retired in 1996, Cyril Regis had made over 600 appearances in professional football and scored more than 150 goals. But his legacy was never about numbers alone. After retiring, Cyril became an agent and a mentor, working with young players through his agency, and perhaps more importantly, he used the platform to continue the fight against racism in football. He was awarded the MBE in 2008 for his services for football and charity. But if we're being honest, no title could capture what Cyril really meant to the game and society. He paved the way, he endured the abuse so the others wouldn't have to. Players like Ian Wright, Les Ferdinand, and countless others have spoken openly about how Cyril was their idol, their example, their reason to believe. And the story, unfortunately, didn't pass when he passed away. His widow, Julia Regis, made sure of that. In 2021, the Cyrille Regis Legacy Trust was launched, a foundation created by his memory by investing in the next generation. The trust runs mentoring programs, workshops, and community projects designed to help young people realize their potential, especially in underserved communities. It focuses on four key pillars that define Cyril Regis as a man: faith, football, equality, and legacy. Whether it's helping young people build self worth, supporting grassroots sports, or confronting racism head on, the Trust carries forward everything Cyril stood for. Julia Regis has spoken passionately about Cyril's belief in second chances and power of guidance, and now through the Trust, his values live on, not just in football, but in life. If you want to learn more about the cause, head over to www.cyrilregis.com, because legacy isn't just about what you leave behind, it's what about continues to grow in your name. In today's game, racism does still exist. We've seen it on social media, in stadiums, even on the biggest stages, but there's progress too. Players can take the knee, speak out, wear armbands, and deliver statements. That freedom exists because of players like Cyril Regis, who showed us it was possible to rise above the hate and still be proud. He wasn't just a striker, he was a cultural icon, a symbol of strength, an athlete who forced the nation to confront its own demons simply by doing what he loved, playing football. So next time you see a young player stepping out onto the pitch with pride and confidence, remember Cyril. Remember the man who walked through fire so others could run free. This has been Iconic Wednesday, a tribute to Cyril Regis, the man who changed English football forever. Smash that like button if Cyril's story inspired you. Let me know in the comments who else deserves the spotlight on Iconic Wednesday. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more football legends every single week. Bye bye.